For homeowners in most of North Carolina, it's normal to have your property assessed about every 8 years, unless you make some kind of major change that's noticeable from the outside, or if you get a permit to make a major renovation. It's called an octennial cycle.
Yeah, but this past spring, 488 homeowners in Martin County found out their properties were assessed without any documented reasons, based on a report from State Auditor Beth Wood. That's significant because it means many of those homeowners have been paying more for taxes every month based on assessments that shouldn't have happened in some cases for another few years. I sat down with two people who were affected and a broker who took matters into his own hands. Michael Gallo's Halifax Street home in Williamston holds a lot of memories. He bought it alongside his late partner, Chris. They closed on March 14th, 2021.
Our house was assessed shortly after we closed in March. I believe right in April it was assessed.
He later got a notice in the mail about the results, but says he didn't pay it much mind, mainly focusing on Chris's ALS.
He had gone into his wheelchair already in December before I got the reassessment, and so we were adjusting to life with him being bound into a wheelchair.
Gallo says the mortgage payment before the reassessed value was $618. Afterward, it went up to more than $900.
It was a shock. I've paid nearly $2,800 more for this house than I should have in taxes.
Gallo says attempts to voice those concerns were shut down.
Contacted the tax assessor's office, spoke with them directly, asked them why there was such a large increase, why the home had been assessed, and they said that they always reassess homes after the sale, that's standard practice.
Daisy Gale's story is similar. Her daughter owns this home right down the street from Gallo's.
We got a notice this year that we were short on our escrow because they were considering taxes and insurance. Okay, that's cool. So we had to come up with $1,800. So we weren't paying an exorbitantly large house payment.
That's where Paul Robertson comes in. He's a broker based in Washington, but also works in Martin County.
I had clients from closings come in and say, I got a letter from the tax office. What does this mean? And their taxes were essentially going up. And in looking at the tax cards, they were changed to about within $1,000, $2,000, most of them, what the actual sales price for the house was.
Knowing that North Carolina has an octennial appraisal cycle, meaning it's done about every 8 years, he felt something was off.
You can change things outside the octennial appraisal cycle, but it has to be for a very finite set of reasons. Additions to homes, things that majorly increase the value of a home, and you have to document those.
So he tried to get some answers.
And was told basically that they could do this and they would continue to do it.
With 21 years in real estate behind him, Robertson wasn't backing down.
Several of my colleagues and I got together and formulated a database from the county tax information of all the properties that had been changed and gave that to the state auditor.
We did get a tip through our hotline from actually more than one person who wanted to speak to the fact that immediately after houses and properties were selling in Martin County, there would be a reassessment of taxes and property value, and then the new owner would be hit with additional tax payments.
And tomorrow we'll explore what the state auditor found out and what the new Martin County tax assessor is doing to try and rectify this situation.
We told you about Martin County property owners paying more in taxes because of property assessments that were done without proper reasons.
Yeah, we showed you how a broker helped bring this to the attention of State Auditor Beth Wood. And now tonight we're exploring what her office found out and what the new Martin County tax assessor is doing to rectify the situation.
There were 488 properties total. None of them had a documented reason for why the reassessment was done or why the property values changed.
Eventually, State Auditor Beth Wood's office was able to uncover reasons as to why 229 of those 488 properties were reassessed. But for 259 of them, they couldn't find anything. For 237 of those 259, property values increased.
There was only about 22 where the tax decreased. Then you have to kind of step back and say, was somebody getting a gift, and that bring my taxes down and I don't have to pay so many. So again, either way, it's not good.
What was your reaction when you saw that report?
Oh, I was angry. I was very frustrated.
Melissa Phillips is the new Martin County tax assessor. Her office is ordering appraisals to those properties to see if the value adjustments were justified.
The 259 parcels that they were discussing, we reviewed them individually in-house. Anybody that we needed to go out and visit those properties, they got a letter mailed out on August 4th of 23 requesting a site visit. What that did was let us do a thorough investigation to verify if there was any justification for that increase, since we couldn't find any documentation for it.
Both Gallo's and Gail's daughter's homes have since been reassessed. The results show both were assessed too high.
It says the effective year has been changed back to the original 1970 data point. The previous value change was not fully warranted.
The value came in half at what I've been taxed on. Half. So I'm sorry, there's something wrong with the program.
So what happens now? A letter sent to Michael Gallo from the tax assessor's office seems to put the power in the hands of commissioners.
The taxes paid on the value difference from the date the original change in value will go before the Board of County Commissioners.
The problem is county leadership is under increased scrutiny after the closure of Martin General Hospital and then the resignation of the county manager after controversy surrounding his pay increases. So Gallo and Gail are both skeptical about if they'll get anything paid back.
I don't trust them to do the right thing because they haven't.
Phillips says her office sends reports to commissioners once a month for refunds of overpayment of taxes. So far, she says commissioners have approved around $35,000 worth for homeowners. They plan to be done voting on all of them by December. Gallo says his should be presented to them soon, though he says he's not holding his breath for a refund. And if those refunds are approved, they will go to the mortgage company in Gallo and Gail's cases. That means more headache for them, though, even if county commissioners do approve the refunds. Now, the Martin County tax assessor in place during the time period that state auditor's report covered was Alicia Hardison. She resigned in the spring of 2022. I did reach out to request her comment for this story. I did not hear back. I also asked State Auditor Beth Wood and District Attorney Seth Edwards if they're investigating Hardison's actions, but they both said they are not.